Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we've just had it confirmed. We've got 2 times chance to pull legendaries and epics coming up. It's actually going to be from tomorrow, Thursday. Normally it's from Friday through to Sunday. So just bear that in mind. The portal will light up tomorrow. Don't pull any shards until you see the chances enhanced. So it's going to be 2 times to pull epic and legendaries from ancients. This is the biggest event in the game. This is the best one. It's the one that most people will have a chance of getting some sort of hype champions from. So in this video, what we're going to do is rank all of the epics, literally in like a 10-second spiel. So let's see how that does. We've also got from Sunday, just on Sunday, there will be a 10 times chance in amongst the same thing to gain the legendary champion, Sakia, who is Sakia Flametongue, who's actually freaking awesome, by the way, and also crazy for Spider, especially for the new 21 to 25 stuff. So she's got HP burn here, which she places and then gets an extra turn, and then she goes after that with drop defense and weaken and ignites to burns. It's really, really cool for Spider, especially 21 to 25. So tomorrow's video is going to be rate all legendaries, but today we're going to do rate all epics. Before we get into it, I want to celebrate that I've hit 1,000 videos on YouTube. I started on YouTube in like November 2019, so we're 18 months on. 1,000 videos in 18 months. Cranking them out. The grind is real. So to celebrate, I'm going to give away a free account takeover to somebody who comments on this video. What do you need to do? You need to be a sub to this channel. So I will check that you're a sub. And you need to comment, what is your favorite type of video that I do? Is it a news video? Is it an arena video? Is it takeovers? Is it, I don't know, champion spotlights? You tell me what type of video. And if you've got one in mind particularly, then throw a link into that video. Just if you've got one in mind. You don't have to do that, but that would be cool to see. But yeah, basically 1,000 videos in, I want to celebrate by giving someone a free account takeover. I really hope it's a free-to-play low spender that's less than 6 months into the game. That's what I hope. But only fate can decide that, guys. So I don't handpick a whale account. In fact, I'd much prefer someone that's like, I really need help to get past Dragon 12. Yeah, that's more fun for me than I'm just going to blow stuff up. So, yeah, let's get on with the video then, but get involved if you want to. So, all epics reviewed in as quick a time as I can do it. Let's go. Hordin. Hordin smacks. He's a single target champion. Good for the arena, but I feel like there's a lot better, and I'd prefer an AoE champion. So, because of that, I wouldn't build one out, but I have seen some videos of Hordin doing work, and he does get a reset or an extra turn if he kills someone with an A1. So he can actually shotgun kill a bunch of people. But for me, I much prefer a AoE nuker. Legendary, Lordly Legionary, not legendary. He's not legendary, but he's half decent now. So you get him as a freebie. I mean, honestly, he's meant as a out-and-out Fire Knight champion. He's a bit better as a Fire Knight champion since you can go beyond stage 20. And he probably adds a bit of value, actually, 21 to 25. Outside of Fire Knight, I wouldn't bother. Pretty trashy. He's certainly not as good as his Flaming Sword looks. Archmage Helmet. Can't pull from shards, but damn, this one is sweet. I will be doing a spotlight on him soon. He has just got a ton of turn meter manipulation. He's got AoE stuns. This guy is well worth building. Super good champion. Gerard the Stone smacks hard. Really hard. Again, he's a single target type of dude. He just punches damage up. I've got a video out on this guy, and you'll see how hard he hits. He cracks anyone like 200-300k, no problem with the right build. Oathbound, absolutely underrated champion. Really, really solid for this faction. Loads of control. So if you're struggling to get through waves, he's got block active skills. He's got freeze. He's also got AoE, decrease attack. This champion is well worth building. Good champ. Chancellor Yasmin, at the moment her AI is complete trash, which makes her complete trash. She's got like a cleanse ability, like a Madame type 1, but puts them to sleep instead of drops their defense. It's good. She uses this, though, even when there's no buffs out there. It's like that. Yasmin, do you understand what your path is here? She does it wrong. So for now, I wouldn't use her until we can change AI. Seneschal, average. I wouldn't build him out. Alaric the Hooded, kind of hard AoE hitter with his A3. He's got decreased attack on an AoE, which is nice. But other than that, very weak defense, very squishy. It's like he's hitting himself with his own dagger. I wouldn't build him. Knight Errant, one of the hardest hitting epics in the game. Very single target based again, though. Does bring a bit of utility with Leech and Weaken. If you're struggling for champions, he's worth it. If you're not struggling for champions, extremely difficult to keep alive. So you have to make sure that he's got tons of protection around him, or you've got revivers. Stag Knight, one of the best epics in the game with his glowing shield. This dude keeps it going all day long. AoE decrease attack and defense, 3 turn cooldown if you book him. Well worth the books, awesome champion. Masked Fearmonger, just complete trash. Discard the Sigurd. He was part of a fusion recently. Good champion, actually. Decrease attack on his A1, provoke and shield on his A2, and then buffs on his A3. Decent amount of, when booked, decent cooldowns. He's also got his turn meter fill here. I like this champion. I think he's decent. Like, as a protector, stroke, team protector, and then buffer, actually really strong. Good base stats as well. Rowan, trash. Other than maybe an unkillable team where you're just using her for the poison here, even then I think that's better. But definitely need to rework. Azure, average to bad. Bit of protection for the team. Doesn't do a lot else. Move on. Warcaster, honestly, I only really like this guy in unkillable teams. And if you've got the choice of unkillable teams, the block damage ones tend to be the worst ones because you can still get debuffed. So you can still get stunned and stuff. But I guess for Faction Wars, this is actually a great skill here. AoE block buffs. If you're coming up against waves of Valks or Martyrs or anyone like that, then block buffs is a really strong skill. But I think there's better. Ursula the Mourner, absolutely top tier epic. Really great champion. One of the best revives in the game. Revives all team with 3/4 health, half their turn meter, and buffs them. What a revive that is. Also brings decreased attack and a buff for your team. Yeah, great champion. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to High Elves. High Elves got some great epics here. So, Roar Guard, the big smack. Bring in the power. Bring in the rain. With stages 21 to 25 in play, he goes down a bit in priority. Up to 20, he's one of the best epics in the game for smashing your opponents up. Generally, he's good against bosses and he's good against high health wave enemies. Not so good in the arena because his big hit is about enemy max HP. If you put him on level 20 Spider, he's cracking it for over 1 million. My one cracks it for over 2.5 million with the right gear. You only need to build him with crit damage. Don't worry about building up his attack. And he will smack stuff into the ground. You should put some accuracy on him if you want to land his decreased defense and decreased speed. But if you're just using him for damage, forget that. Just go speed, crit damage, and crit rate, and then you'll be laughing. Tyrell, still one of the best. OG epic, really, really strong. AoE decreased defense, a stun on his A3 and turn meter drop, and a decreased attack on his A1. Good as your decreased attack in Clan Boss. Good for waves of enemies where you want to drop their defense before someone else comes and finishes them off. He also hits really hard if you build his defense up and give him some crit and stuff. Nice aura as well. Top draw. Then Assel, like team support. Looks like he spends a bit too long at the Panto for me. A bit too long there. Not enough time improving his abilities. Okay A1. Okay A2. It's kind of nice A2 on a 3-turn cooldown. And an okay A3. When you compare him to modern epics that have come out, he's just not as good. Luthia, decent amount of damage on her AoE nuke. A bit of control here, a bit of poison here. She's like, I can play anywhere and I'm half decent. Sometimes she can get a bit chilly if the wind blows in the wrong direction. But I don't know. I feel like she needs a bit more. Look, she's a half decent nuker. There's way better out there, including your starter champions will just hit harder. So for what she does, I think there's much better. Vergis, really good team protector, good tank unit, decent abilities, but not top tier. Like, he'll come in and do work for you in a lot of Doom Tower bosses. He can do a bit of work in Clan Boss potentially, but he's pretty much sidelined by the people that are a bit sexier, really, with damage and stuff. He doesn't bring a lot of hits. He's just like a slow and steady, almost like the old man of Raid. Right, Marksman, need to buff, trash. Jingle Hunter, good arena lead. If he goes first in the arena, he can actually kill someone and then lock out the rest of the team, which is really cool. But again, I feel like there's just better champions out there for doing it. But he does have a nice speed aura, which is going to help you in the arena when you're early game. Battle Sage, good in the arena as well. Good as like an anti-hedgy champion. You can put her in immunity gear, make her fast, and then she can come in and cleanse anyone else that's been debuffed by hedgy, give them increased attack as well, and then set them up to get going. So not bad as like a cleanser once you've taken a bunch of debuffs. Exemplar, they buffed her. Buff her again. She's still not good enough. They made her try to be viable for this, for the new Dragon era doff, but still, I feel like she just needs an absolute buff again. Okay, Sacred Order. Tons of them. Canoness. Yikes. Move on. Adriel. Move on. Terrible. Hope. She did get better, actually. She's got some half-decent shieldage going on now. I still feel like this needs to be on another turn cooldown for this to be really viable. And I feel like this should just be 100% chance to remove buffs. Like other epics. She's still not quite good enough, but she's better than she was. Frostbringer needs a buff. Weak hits. Okay abilities. All very situational. She's kind of decent on Fire Knight. Otherwise, I wouldn't use her. Talia, hard hitter. Great nuker. Good for this faction. Basically, you set someone up to drop defense, and then she'll just come in and blow stuff up at this A2. Juliana needs a buff. Very old school poisoner. Nowhere near as good as a Frozen Banshee or a Cult Brawler or a whole bunch of others. So needs a buff for me. Sanguina, we've got here triple hits. We've got a decent ability on her A2, decent ability on her A3. I'd say she's like a mid-tier epic. She can do some work for you, but and if you're short of a cleanser, then she can come in and remove debuffs from all champions except herself. So someone like Agref, the spider, she can do some work. General Dungeon, she can do some work if you're short of a cleanser. Aethar, really only good in Dragon or on an unkillable team. Otherwise, old school needs a bit of work. Relic Keeper, a bit like the Hoarding. He's got this reset hit on his A1. He can hit hard. You can get him going kill after kill after kill, but I'd rather just get one AoE in there and just nuke them all down in the same time. So I wouldn't build him out. I wouldn't fuse him other than for missions. Missionary. Had a buff not that long ago. He's half decent now, but honestly, everything's single target. He's out for himself. Average to bad. Romero, I don't like this guy at all. I think he's just so old school with his abilities. Steals one buff. Come on. Weak source, continuous heal. Weak source, increased defense. Needs a buff. Lady Atessa, Lady Trash. She's never changed. Needs a buff. Mordecai, awesome new epic. Top tier spider champion. Really like this champ. Also brings a bit of turn meter control as well. Really cool. Bushy. Yikes. Phoenix, wicked champion. Super long sword. The sword is literally longer than he is. I don't know how he's holding it up. This guy smacks. He's got an awesome A1. He's got a great AoE hit as well. Brilliant for Ice Golem. Absolutely brilliant. This hit will kill the side ads and keep them dead. Really fun champ. Deacon Armstrong, one of the best epics in the game. Turn meter control, extra turn, drop defense, 100% chance to land. Leech as well. Great in clan boss, great for dungeon running. Absolutely brilliant champion. Mistress of Hymns, yikes. Move along. Lodric, Falconheart, he's okay. He's not bad. Got a bit of ally protect, bit of shieldage. Good against the Scarab boss. 2-turn cooldown on it. Any shield ability is awesome. Means that if he's going faster than anyone else in your team, you've always got a shield up, which means you won't get that retribution hit from the boss. Cardinal, good situationally, great for this team for Faction Wars. Basically got a full team res with max turn meter. It means as soon as she picks them up, they're going to get a go. So great for Arena as well. If she's letting the rest of the team die, you've got 3 people that can just nuke stuff. She picks them all up, they nuke them one by one, and you're laughing. So really, that's kind of like one of the best go second champions in the game for Arena. Lightsworn, reasonable epic, I'd say. Triple hit here, bit of turn meter control, decreased attack and speed. Was my clan boss decreased attack champion for a ton of time. Very high base defense and good buffs on the A3. He's a little bit old school now. I feel like there's a lot of better epics out there now, but can still do a job. Inquisitor Shamal, actually really good end game player. Like blows through defense. So ignores defense with his A2. Can just smack, like he'll kill a Duchess, no problem. He'll kill a Krisk, no problem. Like any of those tanky units which are really hard to take down in Doom Tower or in the arena, he's your man, steps up and just starts blowing people up. Also gets turn meter fill and counters the kind of Mashold fears that go on. So pretty cool for that as well. Godseeker and Eerie, another one of the new epics. These new epics, since I did the video like this last, have come in and they are top draw. Godseeker as well, top draw epic. Revive here, this very cool passive that gives someone revive on death just before they take a fatal hit. And then some AoE damage with some healing for team. Just a general quality defensive support unit. Okay, let's move on to Barbs. Barbarians had a ton of new champions recently as well. Aina with decreased defense, weakened. She can be in a clan boss unkillable team as someone that cycles through damage, basically. Like most of Barbarians, she gets warm. She has to wear these kind of skimpy clothes. But yeah, a little bit emo. Don't know. She's okay. She's okay. I wouldn't build her out personally. Jotun, when I did this last, he was weak. Now he's okay. I think this guy's actually given out as a free champion to new people playing the game through certain codes. Can hit pretty hard. He's got an HP burn. I wish they'd just make this a strong decreased defense. Then he's probably viable. That's all he needs. A slightly better debuff here to make him more viable for bosses. Or some sort of AoE damage. But he's half decent now. Takara, one of the sisters. She loves to read. She loves a book. Sit her down, she'll sit there and read all day long. Because of that, I don't think she's good enough to require that many books, even when booked. Aitor, totally old school. He's got provokes. That's all he's really got going for him. I tell you what, when you're against Aitor in Faction Wars, he's a nightmare. He's an absolute beast. But when you're using him yourself, you don't get to those same crazy numbers, and he's not that great. What he is good at is if Kalia, who's also trash, is on the same team, he gets all of these immunities, which makes him kind of fun, but you just wouldn't play the two trash champions together, so pretty trashy. Amina, she is a unit. Great champion, drop defense, turn meter control and stuns, turn meter fill. Great drop defense champion. You do have to be aware of her defense. She can take a hit, and then you wouldn't believe it. You think she could take a hit all day long. She can't. One hit, she's on her back. And you know what they say? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. She falls pretty damn hard. Alika, again, someone else who loves a book. She loves a book. She's actually much better than her sister. She's got some abilities that are half decent. Ignoring defense here. Putting skills on cooldown here is good for Faction Wars. But because of the amount of reading she has to do to get there, I wouldn't bother. Tashada, average, epic. Not much more to be said. A bit of viability. She's okay for faction wars. That's it. Kalia, just spoke about her. Trash. Move on. Maeve, I mean, come on. Move on. Not good enough. Baroth the Blood-Soaked, average to bad, I'd say. Bit of turn meter fill going on. He can cycle through his abilities pretty damn quick. This is an okay single target drop attack, drop defense type ability with a good chance to land it. So against a boss, like a faction war boss, he's kind of decent, but to just level him for that, I wouldn't bother. Woad Painted. She never smiles. Never smiles. She's terrible. One of the worst in the game. High Katoon, good champion actually. Great free champion you get her after 30 days. She can still play right through the game. Decreased speed here. Don't underestimate how good she is. Most of the Doom Tower bosses, decreased speed is great for. Fire Knight, decreased speed is great for. Ice Golem, decreased speed. Spider, decreased speed, yeah. This ability is great on an A1. She's also got a turn meter fill and a speed booster. Good for the arena. Speed in all battles aura. She can play her anywhere. Good base stats. She's actually really solid. Bala, not worth building. Hits kind of hard. She does hit hard, but decreased defense is her main skill. It only lands on 50% of people. So what's the point? Why don't you just build yourself a rare that can do it on 100%? Farakin. This fat boy is awesome. Absolutely brilliant. One of the best ally attack champions in the game. You can build your ally attackers with less crit rate. You only need 70. And he buffs their crit damage as well. You can also play him in Clan Boss against Clan Boss. You get your HP burn and some poison. And you get a drop defense. He is actually an all-round quality champion. Really like him. Got a passive here that I'm not that fussed about. But otherwise, brilliant champion. Well worth building out. Heartened Great Blade. Hits hard. She's a single target hitter. She hits hard. She does weaken. She's got a debuff spread, but she only spreads 2 debuffs. If you are struggling on Spider, you can throw someone in that hits first with HP burn. She then does HP burn spread to all of the Spiderlings, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a champion worth having. If you've already got HP burn on an AoE, I probably would not build her out. Sawai Firstborn, okay champion. AoE here, which has got a decent amount of damage on it. Decreased defense and weaken against bosses is nice as well. So half decent now, I'd say. Not too bad. Sky Touched. I mean, yeah. Very fit. A runner. You can see by her style, she's a runner. She's a good support champion. A cleanse here, which is great against pretty much any boss. Anyone who's placing a load of debuffs on you, she's got a cleanse, and then puts a block debuffs out there. AoE on her A1, got to be a bit careful that, against someone like Agreth the Nether Spider, if you're AoE in those Spiderlings, they're going to come back at you with poison. She's also got this kind of weird passive about herself that she will damage herself, but heals other allies. And then she can also put debuffs on herself. She's actually a solid champion, really useful. Okay, let's move on. Moving on to Ogryn Tribes. Okay then, we have got Grimskin. All we say about this guy is go and wash yourself and improve what you do. Bad champion. Ugo, awesome epic. One of the best. Decreased defense and block buffs on an A2. And she's got this cool passive that she can revive people. Leech as well. Loads going on in her kit. She's well worth building out. Clod, Beast Feeder. Make sure I get that right. A lot of people say... anyway, decreased crit rate, average to bad. Shield on a 3-turn cooldown. Needs to be 2 if we really want him to be used against Scarab Boss. Okay buffs. Honestly, there's just not enough about his kit that makes him worth building out. Skull Crusher, still awesome. If you're not running an unkillable team, then Skull Crusher's your man for Clan Boss. Comes in with the counter-attack ability. There's only 3 in the whole game that have got this on a full team. He's one of them. The other 2 are legendary champions, so shows how valuable he is. He also can play. Sometimes he's better than the legendary versions because of the ally protection and unkillable that comes alongside it. But great champion. Mainly used in Clan Boss, but can be used for finite or general progression, to be honest. If you build him out for Clan Boss, you can pretty much put him anywhere in your teams. Shatterbones, actually good now. Half decent damage here. Well, I say half decent. He hits like a truck if you build him out with some damage. He's also got some turn meter control on his A2. Decreased speed on his A3. Honestly, I wish they'd flip the AI so that he does his A2 as his primary. At the moment, he does his A3 as his primary, and it's not as good. So, great champion. If they flipped his AI over, he'd be top tier epic. Brunch, Killjoy, bomb champion. Can do a bit of damage with bombs. Not great for me. Not great. Galcut hits really hard. He's a bomb champion as well. Forget the bombs. Just build him with crit rate, crit damage. Check my video on this guy. He has got AoE slams. Really fun champ when you get him going. Cage Breaker. Just needs a buff for me. Got a decreased defense. Random hits. 4 hits at random. No thanks. AoE, decreased max HP. There's no place in the game that that's going to be valuable to you. Doesn't hit hard enough. If he hit a bit harder, then potentially with this gain an extra turn, if he kills someone, it's worthwhile. This ability just needs to hit like a Skull Crown hit. Cult Brawler, still one of the best Clan Boss champions out there. Poison, 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 poison. That's what he's all about. Outside of Clan Boss, I honestly don't like him at all. Grush the Mangler, free champion. Great champion. Great free champion. Do not underestimate, again, what you get from your freebies. This guy can come in, honestly, and play anywhere. Maybe not the arenas, maybe not his best spot, but come on. AoE smack and heals for you. AoE smack and a chance to drop attack or crit damage. Ideally, you want the drop attack, but it's a 50-50. Leech on his A1. Play him anywhere, he's going to help you out. Maneater, one of the best, if not the best or most desirable epics in the game, because he makes Clan Boss an absolute joke. He's also awesome now for Spider since they fixed his A2. Awesome anywhere, really, with block debuffs and unkillable. Just crazy good. Towering Titan, buffed him recently. Still bad. Prundar loves a slab of cake. He's just an absolute meat shield unit tank, but doesn't hit hard. He needs to hit hard for him to be useful. Like, there's nowhere in the game where you just need a big, like, hit me again sort of setup. It just doesn't work for raid right now. Right, Lizardmen. Not many here. Jarang. Lizardmen struggle. This guy, he hits okay. You'd think with all this attack he's going to be better. He's not. Not that great. Jared, good for Clan Boss. Decent for your decreased attack champion. You do want to book him out, though, if you're going to use him for that. Got some team protection as well. Useful against some of the new Doom Tower bosses as like a protector and a decreased attack single target. He's also got a bit of heals going on here. He's a decent champion. Basilisk, hardest hitting champion in this faction. He's got an A1, which does an AoE, and it actually hits really hard. A2 with a chance to stun as well, which is okay. You just want to build him high crit rate, high crit damage, and decent amount of attack, and let him rain those A1s out. Can actually be used as your first hitter in a blender comp if you're trying that type of thing, and he hits well. Aox, to remember, really like this champion. Super valuable, like right across the game. Poisons, heals, decrease attack on an AoE, and some chance to drop some turn meter as well. And then this cool passive that whenever he's attacked, you can increase the duration of 2 debuffs. So this is kind of nice against Clan Boss, but also against bosses. So yeah, really good champion. Drake can hit okay. If you want to see what Drake could do, check out a video by Stu Gaming where he just basically makes him start one-shotting everything. But honestly, I wouldn't build Drake. I think terrible champ. Jizzo, you get him early. He's good early in the arena. People hate to face him in the early arena. Outside of that, it's not worth it. Quadrant the Crowned, okay champion, one of the newer ones. He's got a heal here, which is kind of good. He's got some good buffage going on here. Honestly, though, I wouldn't build him. Unless you're just building him for Lizardmen, I don't think he's good enough. Broadmoor, Again, just for faction wars, okay. I wouldn't take him past 50. He's got a revive with a decent ability on it. Otherwise, and he's got a speed boost, I guess, here, which is now making him better. But it's only a 15% turn meter fill versus most champions that are like 20 or 30. So, you know, average. Average champ. Right, on to the Skinwalkers. We've got Taurus. Taurus, I use Taurus in my dragon team, but only because I pair Taurus with Xavier. Taurus throws out a ton of poison. Xavier blows it up. He's actually kind of fun. He just makes those type of poison exploders do their job. Also, if you're playing him against dragon, kind of nice. He's got a weaken as well. Outside of that kind of niche setup, I probably wouldn't play him. Flesh Terror, average. Okay clan boss. Okay anywhere else, but not good. So probably wouldn't build him. Ripper, rip. No, terrible champ. Rain Beast, average now. Used to be good. Early game arena, you might have a kind of like, yeah, why not? But other than that, no thanks. Snorting Thug. No thanks. Yard of the Insatiable. I mean, you get him as a freebie early on. He's one of the least played champions in the game. He does bring some poison. If you don't have, you know, your Frozen Banshees yet or your Occult Brawlers yet, play him in Clan Boss. He'll get poisoned out for you. And actually does a decent amount of poison. Outside of Clan Boss, maybe Dragon, you could argue him, but not much else utility. Ursine Ice Crusher, average to bad. Ursine Ironhide, actually kind of decent. AoE, decrease attack, it's always nice. Bit of turn meter control in his A2. Hits reasonably hard, not bad. Steel Skull, like the old school Clan Boss legend. Nowadays, he's a little bit left in the dirt, I think. He's still okay, still brings good buffs, increased defense, and some healing. Not many champions that do heals as good as this in the game, and brings some poison. But honestly, the percentage chance to land his poison lets him down. Good speed, though. Good support unit, more so than he doesn't do any sort of damage. Fane, great in an unkillable setup. Good damage dealer as well. She hits hard. You know, if you play her in something like Faction Wars against bosses, particularly where she can bring single target debuffs, she's really good. Basha, awesome, epic. Has got this lockout on his A2. He was the champion that helped me beat this faction in Faction Wars. Also got block buffs on his A3, which helps against wave content like Doom Tower and Faction Wars and some dungeons. Decent champ. Okay, moving on to the Orcs. Orcs, what we got? Ultimate Gaelic. AoE HP burn. Great for Spider if you don't have another burner. And he's also got some turn meter control. He's actually kind of good. Certainly for Faction Wars for this faction. There's not that many with turn meter control in this faction. But kind of good elsewhere as well. Like Fire Knight, Ice Golem. Anywhere where you're trying to drop turn meter and get some benefit from these burns. It's decent. Juke the Pierce. Awesome, awesome, epic. AoE decrease attack and defense. Honestly, his A3 lets him down because he just does it and it doesn't do a lot. And he does it as the priority. I wish they would just wipe this out of his kits. Then it'd be even better. Decrease accuracy on his A1 as well is good against bosses. Old Hermit, Reviver, good for this faction, for Faction Wars. Outside of that, I mean, you've got a turn meter fill here as well. So I guess for the arena, you know, as your go second champ, increases turn meter plus increases attack. A bit like what Seeker does. So whoever goes next is going to blow stuff up. This is nice. Torture Helm, very niche. Very, very niche. Likes to smile. He's got this kind of revive going on. And when he does hit hard. But yeah, I don't know. Basically, what you want to do is let everybody else be dead. And then he self-revives. And then he can one-shot one person. That's pretty much what he's about. So, you know, there's not many situations in this game where that's a valuable skill. Sardala, good decreased defense champion. AoE ability here with a good chance to land it. Then a good hard-hitting A2 which can reactivate the A3. Very few champions with this type of mechanic. It's really fun actually when she gets going. She's very stat hungry and she also loves to read. She loves a book. So if you can do those two things, like if you've got gear to push her stats and you've got the books, then she's going to be great for you. But if you can't do that, there's better champions out there just for the drop defense. Bloodfeather, trash. Bonekeeper hits hard, but again, like very single target and not much. She's literally out for herself, and she wants a one-on-one fight. There was an element of this game where it's like, I'll take you on one-on-one, then yeah, fine. But otherwise, wouldn't build her. Shaman, free champion early on. Good for the revive, but honestly, I mean, keep her for your faction wars. Don't level her past 50. It's not worth it. Terror Beast, average. If you're struggling with Fire Knight, he can bring this reflect damage. Outside of this ability here, for Fire Knight, terrible. Brask, good for some of the new Doom Tower bosses. Okay passive healer. So every time he hits, he's healing. And building with good crit rate and good speed, good HP, and he'll just keep your team ticking over. But he doesn't have enough healing to like fully heal a clan boss setup or anything like that. So you need more healing than just him. Sandlash, great, epic. One of the best go second champions for the arena because of her passive. She will give you a chance to have a turn. She will let you soak up a nuke. She's also great for clan boss. She's got this increase your buffs, decrease enemy buffs, and it's a hard-hitting AoE ability. Kind of good anywhere, actually. Great champ. Seer, the best wave nuker in the game with this A3. Just need to throw buffs on your team. She wipes them off and nukes everybody around her. Two-hack, decent nuker with his A2. Also brings some turn meter control. The other ability is a single target, but don't sleep on this guy. He's pretty underrated, I'd say. Very good for boss fights. Okay, moving on. Demonspawn. Lots here. Allure, the absolute goddess of Fire Knight. It's kind of, and Faction Wars actually. For Faction Wars, she is insane. Drop turn meter on her A1. That's all you need to know about her. I'm not going to even tell you her other skills. That's all we care about. Give her enough or 100% crit rate so that this lands. Give her enough accuracy so that it makes it work. And then keep her alive and make her move quick. And then she will do the job for you. Excruciator, hard-hitting single target nuker. Got block revive as well, so kind of decent for Ice Golem. And good for the arena. Akoff, he's the guy that comes from Doom Tower. Sweet skin, this one. His AI, I've not used him myself. I read that his AI is a bit funky. Doesn't do his HP burn as his first ability, I think, or something like that. But will be good for you on Spider once they get him sorted. RNS, old school, average to bad, epic. Yeah, I wouldn't build her out myself. Soul Drinker, bomb champion. Can be kind of fun in the arena if you're building with a funky high attack. High attack, when he dies, he drops 2 bombs on the enemy. You do need to make sure that someone stays alive for the duration it takes for these to blow up. Or have someone like a War Mother come in and just blow them up after he's dead. So, very situational. Can be fun, though. Lazana, good support. HP-based champion. She's not going to do a ton of damage, but she will do some good debuffs. And if you put her in a stun set, she's got a couple of AoE abilities, so she can throw out stuns all day long. Good as a support unit. Infernal Baroness, kind of similar, really. AoE, put her in a stun set, she'll do some work. I don't love this. All she does on this ability, which is a priority ability, is veil someone. I mean, it's so weak. It's such a weak ability. It really lets her down. This part of her kit really lets her down. We do have an AoE here. We do have an AoE here. Both of these abilities are pretty damn solid. Okay, where are we up to? Infernal Baroness. So, Taniks. We'll just check. Yeah. Taniks, free champion. One of the worst free champions that you get. Honestly, wouldn't bother building her out. Complete trash. Needs a rework. Look at the state of it. Akak, the Wenderin, one of my favourite epics. Certainly gone up in value since we've got stages 21 to 25. Absolute beast in the spider. Absolute beast. Love the kit. Love how different this kit is. Healing going on here. Turn meter fill going on here. Freezing going on here. Almost always a freeze, this one. And then good buffs as well. Great champion. Hellgazer. Damn. Damn. Pretty terrible. Tarshon is an interesting looking fella. I mean, what is he looking out of? Where's his eyes? Where are his eyes? I've got no idea. Provoked here, A1. AoE weaken, fairly unusual. Not a bad ability. And a turn meter fill. This is like your defensive turn meter booster. There's not many in the game, actually. So, fills turn meter, improves their defense, and then your defense guys can come in and smack. So, pretty useful ability here. Also got a strengthen ability on a passive, which is okay. Helmore, good new epic. AoE deep drop defense, 100% if you book him out. Also got an HP burn single target, okay damage. Mainly there for this drop defense though. The Demonspawn really did need someone that could do this in an epic. Padma, great for clan boss. Great for taking out someone like a Skull Crown in the arena. Basically, he's got his A3, removes all buffs. So if a Skull Crown's throwing out the unkillable, comes in, smacks them, kills them dead. AoE smack here as well with drop accuracy is okay. Mainly using clan boss though for this decrease attack ability. Book out, it's a 100% chance to land if you've got crits. So there's not many champions with, certainly, I mean, she's void, so she can play against any affinity. There's not many champions with this type of chance to land their ability over and over. So she becomes one of the most consistent decrease attack champions. Builder with high defense. If you build her with high crit rate and a bit of crit damage, she actually can hit pretty hard too. Umbral, great arena champion, great faction war champion. AoE provoke, AoE block buffs. Both great skills and 100% chance to land both of them. On a void, great champion. Stimfost, the consumed. More like Stimfost, the confused. I mean, it's an okay champion at best. I probably wouldn't build him out from what I've seen. Okay. Undead Hordes, Gordrab, like the mid-tier arena speed lead. So, better than the stuff you get for free. Not as good as the stuff that is just basically better. He does have a turn meter fill. It's a weak source one, but he does bring you increased attack. Nice for your nukers. Chance to remove a buff. I wouldn't even bother with this. But this is what's nice about him. A full team revive with a heal. You think about some of the champions I've spoken about already. Their revives, the newer champions, you get more HP, you get more turn meter fill. So, Gordrab, that's why I say it's a bit old school. Feels like, could be better nowadays. But good lead for arena in terms of speed. And this is really what it's about, this kind of turn meter boost and increased attack. Seeker, very similar style of champion. Turn meter boost, increased attack. Better turn meter fill though, so easier to get the rest of your team at lower speeds, therefore higher damage. Does have a provoke here as well. He hits hard, and although he's a defense champion according to this, all of his abilities are based on attack. His A1 hits from attack. Think about it. Most people say to me, you got it wrong. He should be high defense. No. His damage comes from attack. If you build him in some of these fancy clan boss teams, he hits like a truck if you push his damage up. He's also one of the best go second champions for the arena with this ability here. If you put him high up the turn order on your team, which means technically with the game, he's getting hit first, then he spreads an increased defense before everybody else's hits, which gives him a higher chance of staying alive. Catacomb Counselor, pretty much all in there for his ally attack. Honestly, compare him to someone like Fakarin the Fat, he's nowhere near. He's not even close. And because of that, I'd say, look, if you've got him and you don't have any other ally attackers and you don't have a counter attack, he is going to up your damage in clan boss. But if you do have some of those other things I just said, he's nowhere near as good. Dark Aethel, free champion, can hit okay. She's okay. Nothing more. I wouldn't build her. Dark Elhain, on the other hand, though, smacks. Really strong. One of the hardest hitting AoE epics in the game. Also a great counter to a Torment. Great counter to the Torment waves in the Doom Tower. Hits hard. Good champ. Husk. AoE HP. Enemy max HP. Great champion. Underrated. Very good. Probably gone up in value since the 21 to 25 stuff comes out. Because you can get your 10% damage off but you also get stuns off at the same time. HP based champion as well, quite easy to keep alive. And his A3 hits okay as well, it's not bad. Karam blows up poison. There's not really many places where I would use him. You could use him on Spider, up to like 19. He can weak hit against 20, which makes him a little bit annoying. But, someone like Dragon, if you're going up to stage 20 on Dragon, again, he can blow stuff up if you've got enough poison on the enemy. Lich, just a support unit, kind of needs a buff for me. Very old school weak source kit. Hexia was meant to be the new Rotus, but didn't quite cut it. She hits hard. She's got, 3 hard hitting single target abilities. Okay for the arena. Personally, wouldn't build one out. Defiled Sinner. Trash. Move on. Corpse Collector. I mean, we've got Leech. We've got Poison. Not bad for Clan Boss. Not bad. But I think there's a lot better out there. Morsian Mage. Good as a Seer partner. So plenty of buffs coming out here from the A2. Free buffs on everyone. Also, what's crucial here is the increased crit rate buff makes Seer want to do her Karma Burn straight out. If there's no increased crit rate buff out there, then she's like, should I A3? Should I A2? What shall I do? He's like, no, Seer, your A2's trash. Just use your A3 whenever it's there. So he makes her a better person. I wouldn't worry about this decreased speed, honestly. I'd just build him quite tanky, quite fast. He's got a nice cleanse here as well. Good. I mean, if you do put some accuracy on him, good against Agref as a decreased speed champion plus cleanser for your team. Turn me to fill for your team. Actually great against Agref. But yeah, solid champion. Can also be good in a go second arena team. So you build him in something like Frenzy gear. Very tanky. He takes a bunch of the hits. He then cleanses the rest of your team and turn meter fills them, and then they get a chance to go. Zelatar, I mean, AoE sleep, okay. It's an okay ability. Shields and heals, it's all very average. Vogoth, awesome, epic, absolute unit for keeping your team alive. Like one of my faves for that support role. Healing your champions when he's taking hits, throwing Leech out there, provoking the enemy, decreasing their attack. Just generally solid, epic. Drotlord, average. No thanks. Anax, good in an unkillable clan boss team, brings a load of debuffs, poison, damage, but he's got a passive that makes him a bit funky to tune and to keep him alive. There are them out there though. You should check on Deadwood's site. He's got a couple with this guy. And if you get him working, he's basically similar to Fane. Him and Fane do similar sort of levels of damage. Okay, on to the Dark Elves. A few more to do. Dark Elves, Captain Tamila, just really nowadays a bit dated, I'd say. A kit needs a bit of a buff. Caden, cool, epic, got revive, got decreased attack, great for faction wars, great for like just content progression really. Good support unit. Spider, great debuffer, AoE decreased defense and weakens, weak source weaken, AoE decreased attack as well. Yeah, solid champion and a good speed aura for dungeons. Particularly good against Spider, would you believe? But also just generally for dungeons. Solid champ. Bit squishy, pretty slow. This is his Achilles heel. He's very slow, actually. One of the slowest in the game, which makes him hard because you want him to go first. Makes him quite hard to get to the speed levels that you want for him to get to that first position. Rian the Conjurer. No one's played her yet. She looks cool. A kit is cool. But we can't use her yet because she's a Doom Tower only champion. I think we get her in like 3 months if you've been going through the different levels so far. Luria, okay champion. AoE freeze. Does have a block revive here. She honestly just doesn't hit quite hard enough to make this like really viable. I guess it has to be that way because AoE block revive is such a massive skill, but it's kind of like, average. Yeah, average champ. Crimson Helm just needs a buff really. Kind of just needs this to be 2 turns decrease attack on an A1. Just generally needs a buff. Warden, buff him. What a terrible champ. Delver. Terrible. Fang Cleric, terrible, apart from a revive. I mean, come on. Lua, good champion, good nukage, drop turn meter as well, nice champ. Sylar, one of my faves for turn meter control, decrease speed and turn meter here. Bit of speed and faction trips here, AoE ability here. Madame Cerise, the best arena champion in the game, maybe besides Kaimar. Full cleanse, drop defense, drop attack. Yeah, great champion for the arena. Kind of good anywhere as well. Okay, on to the Revs. The Night Revs. Crypt Witch needs a buff. Terrible champ. Pitiless One was recently buffed. Still needs a buff. Terrible champ. Necro Hunter. I mean, come on. Just not enough going on in this kit to make him worthwhile. If you're struggling to kill this boss, he does bring a decreased defense. Miscreated Monster. Awesome, awesome epic. AoE stunnage and shields. Decreased defense on his A1 if you stun someone. This rarely happens, to be honest, apart from on wave content, so I would ignore this. Good team protection on his A3 and a funky A passive as well. He's mainly all about this A2 though. You want to cycle back to that A2 as often as you can. If you build him good crit rate, good crit damage, and high HP, he's going to give your team crazy shields against Spider. Yeah, great champ. Sanacia, Queen of the Blender. Absolute nuke on her A1 if you build her attack up. She's also just great for general content as well with this kind of equalize, very unique ability of healing. I really like this. So yeah, good champ. Doom Priest, value up. Such a good champion nowadays. Increased attack buff. Here is nothing really. A1, nothing really. But a passive so good. Every time she gets a turn, she cleans another buff, a debuff, sorry, off of all of your team. Such a good champion. So useful now in tons of content. Sepulchre, just pretty much clan boss through and through, really. A1 decreased attack, good buffs. She's able to block that stun debuff and the second hit debuff, so she can do that if you tune her properly. Does need to be running fast to make that work, though. You have to check out the speed tunes for it. And a cool passive. Rector, one of the best defensive support champions in the game. Great champion for go second arena teams or defensive arena teams. She just keeps people alive or revives them or heals them or whatever she wants, really. Very, very cool. Deathless. Deathless is a straight up nuke if people are dead. There's very few situations where she's good, but if she does get a hit off, she hits hard. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Titus, kind of similar in a way. The lower his HP is, the harder he hits. If his HP is less than 50%, I think it's less than 50, yeah, he hits like Trunder hits. He's an absolute smack, but he's quite difficult to make that happen. So, you know, difficult to set up. Bergdorf, average. Pestilus, I mean, Leech, HP burn, average. Faceless, hits hard, single target, nuke machine. Ignores defense, which is why he's so good. But please, shows your face. Skull Crown, again, Queen of the Blender here. Absolute nukes. Nuke. What's she doing next? You know what she's doing. She's nuking. Golden Reaper, okay, speed lead. I just prefer High Katoon, to be honest, which is the free champion. AoE decreased attack, though, is nice. Yeah, good champion. Whisper, I'm not a big fan. She can do some single target nukage, but other than that, I don't really know what she's around for. I've seen some people do some work with her actually on Clan Boss as their damage dealer. Okay, on to last two. On to the Dwarves. Grizzled Joel, awesome for this champion, for this faction wars, but all of a sudden we've got Brogni. So if you've got yourself a Brogni, Grizzled is kind of like, who cares? Don't need him. Don't need him anymore. Rearguard, again, like good for this faction wars, good for Clan Boss as well. Drop defense, drop attack, heals and ally protect. Yeah, solid champion. Geomancer, so angry. So angry. I don't know what happened to him when he was a child. AoE ability here, it's okay. Remove all buffs from one target, then attacks them. It's okay. You know, there's so many better champions out there than this. But he does have this ability here. Reduces turn meter in full. then fills his turn meter by the amount that they lose. So against Spider, you can do this, plus place HP burn, plus weaken. Maybe you follow up with a Hardcorn Great Blade and spread those debuffs, and you've got a team. But on his own, not so great. Yeah, average champion. Rock Breaker, kind of fun. Decreasing damage coming into him. Such a good Faction War 21 tank. Really good. Got provokes as well. Fun in the arena if you can get him working. I did some old stuff in the arena with this guy, and he was a ton of fun. Meldra Steel Girdle. What we got here? A1, attack one enemy, random. No, don't care. This is cool. Place a shield, 3-turn cooldown, and heals, revives, and turn meter fill. Very cool. This is what she's all about, really. Total support unit. Fodbar, AoE decrease attack. Decrease defense. Some stunnage as well. Some heal reduction, triple hit. Good for Finite. Great for this faction, for Faction Wars. And if you don't have another decreased defense, build him out. You need one. Runekeeper, I mean, remove all debuffs from all allies, so full cleanse is nice. We've got a turn meter fill and an increased attack, which is good as well. And a leech. Decent epic. Bird Owl Fellhammer, just get a life. Finite, that's it. That is literally it. Gala Longbraids, kind of hard-hitting arena champion. All single target stuff, though. Good for this faction, for Faction Wars, but honestly, there's much better out there nowadays. Ragnar Goldgleam brings some good debuffs, decreased defense and weaken. Great for this faction, for Faction Wars. Got a leech as well. Can be used in Clan Boss, but just beware of him killing himself. Okay, last one then, guys. If you're still with me, well done. We have got Taragi the Frog. Great epic. Really like him. Decrease attack, single target. Provokes here as your support unit. And shields and what have you on his A3. And poison on a passive, which is cool. Hatatsu, one of the new ones. Leech. AoE decrease attack. It's cool. Nice buffs on his A3 as well. Removes one random debuff from this champion at the start of each turn. I like this. Also removes the kind of immobilizers as the priority. So kind of cool as a passive. Chani, again, one of the newer ones. Poison sensitivity, okay. Some buffage here. AoE here. She hits kind of hard, but honestly, I think she's not that strong. I think she's okay. Sashi, pretty front loaded, I'd say. Decrease attack, decrease accuracy on an A1. It's nice. A leech ability here is okay. Increase attack, then attack someone. Turn meter fill as well if she crits. It's okay. She's actually kind of decent. Again, as like a go second arena champion, turn meter fill plus an increased attack buff. Not bad. Fenshi. I don't love him, to be honest. I don't think he's that great. I think a lot of these Shadowkin, I mean, he hits okay as a single target hitter. Brings a bit of poison as well, but yeah, not that impressed. Barangiri, I really like this guy. AoE stun. AoE stun is such a strong ability in this game. So, you know, for the same reason we like Seal, it's the same reason we like this guy. 3-turn cooldown. Books to 60%. Get fearsome presence on him as well. 65%. And you're stunning up 2/3 of the enemy team. Also brings 2 great buffs and a nice heal here. It's okay. I mean, whenever someone's dying, he gets a bit of a heal. It's nice. Shorinuru, okay, A1. Hits hard with this AoE attack. So removes increased defense. That's actually a kind of cool against certain defensive arena comps. So when they've got their increased defense up, forget that. We're going to clear that off, and then she's going to nuke, which is kind of nice. Aboru, okay. I'm not a big fan, to be honest. There's a chance to do an AoE decreased defense. It's very situational. Hits okay, but not anything crazy. Very squishy, like the rest of this faction. Gembo, did a guide on this guy recently. Love this guy. Firstly, I think he's probably my favorite looking champion in the game. But smacks on his A2. And he removes a buff at the same time. It can't be resisted, which means you don't need accuracy for this to land. So you just go in there, slap him against a Skull Crown who's got that who's put herself unkillable. Bam, it's gone. Someone who pops their swift parry set. Bam, it's gone. He's also got speed in arena. He's a hard hitter. Fun champ. Whew. That's it, guys. All epics are reviewed. Tomorrow, we're going to do legendaries. Don't forget to get involved in the account takeover giveaway if you want to get involved. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.